Hi, today we're going to be learning about constant rate, and we're going to do some problems with this topic. So our goals of this video are to solve math problems using rates, and then solve math problems involving constant rates, and I'm going to show you how to use the work formula. Before we get started, let's review. We want to write and simplify the ratio below. So Tyler has 6 red toy cars and 8 blue toy cars. What is the ratio of blue to red toy cars? And they want us to simplify. So remember, it's super important to write your ratio in the order of which they tell you in the question. So when you see what is the ratio, whatever follows is the correct order. So we're going to compare blue to red, and I'm going to keep this in fraction form. So I know that I have 8 blue and 6 red. That's my original ratio, okay? But to simplify, I need to find what can I divide both of these numbers by that's the same factor. And I know that they're both divisible by 2. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And so my final answer is 4 to 3. You can also write it with a colon, and you can write it as a fraction. And remember, a ratio is always a comparison of two numbers. So we never want to think of this as a fraction that needs to be changed into a mixed number. Okay, we always need to have two numbers that are being compared. So this is the perfect answer right here. So let's talk about constant rate tables, okay? Remember that you've learned that a rate compares two quantities of different kinds. So you may have miles compared to hours. You may have laps compared to minutes. Lots of examples like that, okay? A constant rate means it does not change over time. So if you were to run 3 miles, okay, or let's say walk 3 miles in 1 hour, your constant rate means that as the time increases, your mileage stays the same. So in 2 hours, that doubles to 6 miles. In 3 hours, that triples to 9 miles. And so you're going at a steady pace. It's not changing. Okay, so that's what constant rate means. And we can put these in a rate table, and that will help us solve problems. So let's take a look. So here's an example. Okay, Sam can type 200 words in 5 minutes. Find the number of words he can type in 30 minutes. Find the constant rate. Multiply each time given in the rate table by the constant rate. This is our constant rate right here. He can always do 200 words in 5 minutes. Okay, so every 5 minutes, we're going to add 200 words. So I'm adding 5 here, so I'm going to add 200 up here. Adding 5 more minutes, so adding 200 more. My constant rate is for every 5 minutes, I'm adding 200. So that would go up to 800, 5 more, that would go up to 1,000. And finally, 5 more gets me to what I wanted. Remember, I'm adding 200, so 1,200. So Sam can type 1,200 words in 30 minutes. Okay? Let's talk about the work formula. So a work formula is when you multiply a constant rate, which we are calling R, by the time it takes to be done. Okay, so if you were raking leaves for someone and you could do, maybe 2 piles per minute, okay, you would do 2 times, that would be your rate, however many minutes, and that would tell you how much work was done, how many piles of leaves you were able to make. So let's look at a couple of practice problems. Here's the first one. Find the amount of work done using the work formula. So they're telling us our number of laps and they're telling us the time. So we're going to be looking for the work. Our rate, again, is 30 laps per minute. And we're multiplying that. I'm going to use parentheses to show that I'm multiplying by 25. And we're going to multiply those numbers together. And 3 times 5 is 15. And that's 750. So 750 laps in 25 minutes would be the amount of work that was completed. Problem 2, I would challenge you to see if you could set this up, and then you may also know how to solve. Brian is a baker and bakes 300 muffins in 5 hours. What is his baking rate? So this time, they're actually asking me to find R. I don't know what that is. So I know that the work that was done was 300 muffins. I don't know what the rate is, but I do know that it took 5 hours. So some number times 5 is going to give me 300. And remember that we learned to solve multiplication equations like this. We can undo that or solve with the opposite operation. So I'm actually going to divide both sides by 5. That gets my rate by itself. And 300 divided by 5, I know that 30 divided by 5 is 6. So I'm going to add that 0. And so his rate is 60 muffins per hour, per 1 hour. That is the rate. Okay? So before finishing this video, make sure you can do the following: solve math problems using rates, solve problems involving constant rates using the work formula. Have a great day.